Hello, Scorpio. What is up? This time around, you guys are number 7 in line for receiving your mid-May reading. How is everybody doing out there? I hope you're all well in a place of abundance, joy, bliss, and comfort. We're just shuffling up the cards here. We're asking Tarot what are the messages for Scorpio for mid-May. Ascendant, moon, sun, anyone under the influence of Scorpio or checking this out with some kind of question in regards to that. Scorpio, I gotta apologize for my dirty hands. You know I like to keep it clean for you guys, but was re-gripping my golf clubs, and combination of the mineral spirits and the old grips just like turned my hands like really weird. Okay, but anyways, we'll just get through this deck one more time, get back to you guys. See what's going on for your mid-May reading. Want to appreciate, send my gratitude out to all you guys who commented for all your views and support throughout 2017 and through the last couple sets of readings. This little YouTube channel has really grown. A lot of people are starting to subscribe and really are connecting with these readings, and I'm so happy for that. It makes me, I can't do it without you guys, right? I really can't. So bottom of the deck, the overall energy for you guys, you've got Temperance. Oh, sweet. I believe you guys had this up in one of the lower chakras for the last reading, and this is a good card to have, all right? This is connecting. This card is about being aligned with your environment and the universe and spirit, things that is all going on around you, both inside and outside your being somewhat aligned. Then this is in regards to like attitudes, behaviors, demeanor, all sorts of things. And I even get a strong sense of timelines, like, like being in the right place at the right time. Sometimes it's almost better to be lucky than good, and we have to allow good luck and fortune to rain down upon us when it's wanting to show us favor. And Scorpio, the feeling is that you're long overdue for a lucky bounce, they call it in sports, where things just seem to like kind of go your way, and then you kind of are like, we're ready for it because you've been through a lot of like, trenches and turmoil and like things being turned upside down and rough goes with, the people you love, the people around you coming and going and trying to just get a firm grip and rooted in understanding about what life and what being is really all about. And this card as well speaks highly to me about the ascension process. Temperance is a card of balance. Like they say, like good tempered individual or well balanced individual. Yeah, that can speak to our psyche, right? But balance, we also think about, giving, receiving, the masculine, the feminine, everything that is in balance, that everything that needs to be because of the other thing, right? So like high and low, short and long, night and day, pleasure and pain, all those things being in harmony, being in balance to kind of guide us and, like I said before, align us, right? Some of you might need to go out. If any of you are suffering from back issues right now, go out and get a massage, go out and see a chiropractor or acupuncture, whatever it is you like to do. Anything reflexology, even great. Anything you can do to like make that spine a little bit more supple and like get yourself feeling young again, I would really recommend it at this time for you, seeing Temperance up in overall energy. Okay, let's go back to the bottom and see what's up in our root area. We got 5 of Wands. We've still got some energy surrounding Scorpio that's showing that there is a lot of competition. There could even be some jealousy, some envy, people vying for what Scorpio has, and Scorpio being caught up in all of it, being kind of like, you know what? I didn't do anything different. I'm just doing my same old song and dance, my same old routine. So like, why do I have 5 people in trying to undercut me at the feet? Because I've, maybe you've trained some people and now you've shown them, what to do, how to do your job, and now they're trying to push you out the door or something like that. Or maybe you have certain people that are like kind of making you out to look kind of foolish, and they'll buddy up to you 1 minute, and then as soon as you're gone, they'll like do something to make you look foolish or make you look like you're unneeded, kind of things. 5 of Wands is competitive energy. And this is like every man or woman, every person for themselves type of energy. This isn't like, team A versus team B type energy. This is like there is one, musical chairs, right? There's like 4 chairs and 5 people are going around in a circle, and one of them's going to be knocked out, and everyone's aware that whoever's on the bottom is going to have a rough go, like a tough time. So everyone's vying for position. They're wanting to be the next one with a great idea. These are the people that are wanting the boss to like favor them or to like get the proverbial pat on the back, and they'll throw the other people under the bus just to get it, kind of thing. All right. So for this Five of Wands energy, your day-to-day work life, Scorpio, God, you guys are strong, and you're gonna have to remain so. Keep on your guard. Don't do anything rash or foolish at this time in regards to subordinates, peers, or your bosses or supervisors. Just maintain your constant self. Like consistency is what's called for, will bring you success. Let other people act a fool in trying to undercut you, because low balling and low-handed activities, they will always become transparent when they fail. Nobody ever can see through that stuff when it's happening. It's always like after the fact, and then they can see how that has failed, right? So stay consistent, stay firm, stay rooted, okay? Whatever it is that you need to do to stay planted and grounded, if it's like a big deep breath before you go in to talk to the boss, or whether or not it's like making sure that you're not favoring one person over another when you're working in a team. That's going to be very important, I feel, as well. You just kind of want to maybe even stroke some egos at this time, but not like outrightly, not like outlandishly, but just do it in that subtle way that you can, Scorpio, okay? And that hopefully should help alleviate some Five of Wands here. I'm just going to ask Lenormand here for anything that what can Scorpio do to help alleviate these cards, they jump. Okay, so here's somebody being sly as a fox. So be on your guard. Anybody that's looking over their shoulder when they're walking away from you, this is a key that this person is one of the people you'll have to be most concerned about or watch most closely. And there we have anyone that is overly loyal, anyone that's doing a little too much butt kissing too as well. You gotta kind of question their intention at that point in time and say, okay, I'd really like to know what this person does, as soon as I leave the room, or as soon as I'm out on the other side of hearing range, right? And here again, somebody may be really going against the flow. So it's really a mix mash with this Five of Wands. The feeling is that you are dealing with like all different kinds of energies and attitudes at this time, and you're kind of almost like a central figure, a central point to this. So again, I would say, just be very careful. It's good to remain friendly. It's good to remain calm in these times. But look at this fishy. He's like keeping that eye out. He's like, what's everybody else doing? This is that energy. So strong observation, all right? Don't become overly loyal to anyone at this time. And as well, keep looking over your shoulder a little bit to see if anyone else is looking over their shoulder at you. Those are a couple tips, I think, that Lenormand provide with a couple of hints and clues of what we can do. And that's what we asked for. So thanks, Lenormand cards. Okay, let's move on. Go up the chakras. These videos got so long. Like some of these are pushing 40 minutes and retrograde is over. I just feel like I just want to talk forever. So just, forgive me or fast forward to see a new card come up if you get bored of my long-winded approach. Okay, Nine of Wands reversal up in your sacral energy. Okay, so some of you have been single for a very long time, Scorpio. Some of you may even be feeling like you don't even really want, like there's a desire to have someone in your life, and you kind of feel it like when you're alone, I feel. But kind of when you're out and about and you see someone you're attracted to, it's almost like you're like, wow, like that person really may turn your head, or that person may really like cause you to like have like think for a minute, oh goodness, but at the same time you're kind of questioning like, oh, is it worth it? Like what is all the effort and energy that goes through into courtship and then into having a relationship and building a relationship? Like we're looking at like another major chapter of life, and I feel that some Scorpios are just like at this level of depleted energy where they're just like, bleh, why would we want to engage here when it's like, I don't know what more I can say about Nine of Wands and this depleted energy and this sort of you guys aren't narrowly focused, which is good. You guys are kind of keeping your eye out for that perfect person. There's no real compromise, and there's no real, yet at the same time, there's no real effort going forward into like, for single Scorpios here now, into like attaining a new boyfriend, a new girlfriend, or a new thems or theirs friend at this point in time. It's almost like you're kind of like, well, if it happens, it happens. Like if it's naturally meant to happen, it's naturally meant to happen. And even those singles that are doing the online thing, it's just kind of like maybe check the page once a week, and you're like, man, you don't even really feel like to like, the few messages that have accumulated, because you're just like, you know what, it doesn't feel natural, it doesn't feel preordained or predestined from the universe. So you're like, well, why the heck am I going to put in the work when I'm, drained, just kind of making ends meet and securing up my environment even more? So it's okay that for that selfish side of yourself to come out a little bit in regards to wanting to remain single and go into a place of solitude at times to regroup and to recharge your batteries. And I think it's good advice, and I think it's good knowledge that, if you're forcing anything, if you're seeing potential in someone, but it's like almost like the relationship or getting together with this person is too much of a forced effort, then you guys are right to kind of just like drop it, to let it go, and that sort of area. As well, that you may find that this time is a tough time to get new creative projects up and running. You guys might be feeling that this procrastinating energy is overlapping into some other areas. There may be certain things that you are needing to get done, but you just absolutely, you look at them and you refuse. You're like, oh my God, I just don't want to do it. So then you make an excuse, you go do something else, something you enjoy a little bit more, and then that project is still looming. So this sort of thing, if this chakra feels like it's stalling out for you, I would suggest to some of you that it would really be a good time to accentuate your feeling, so your five senses. And I'm not saying like go out and eat a ton of comfort food, but like, treat yourself, like tantalize your senses for a little bit, like whether it's your sense of smell, whether it's your taste. Like maybe what you could do is go out and try a food that you haven't had for a long time, so it stimulates some sort of like chemical response in the brain. So you're like smelling something that reminds you of an old memory, or you're tasting something that you haven't had for like 5 or 10 years. It would just be like amazing. Or you just like turn on the Kenny Rogers. That's a crazy example, but just something that you haven't heard for a very long time. And that could help alleviate some of that Nine of Wands energy, because with Wands here, we've got this balance. We got this overall energy speaking to balance. And now we've got these two cards of like spirit and passion in our very lower chakras saying, well, competition, procrastination, like these energies seem like anything but balance. But you guys have got time. I think time is on your side, because temperance upright just means like don't worry too much. Like every molecule in its place, every minute in step. There won't be too much bad repercussion as long as you guys are at least putting some sort of foot forward, right? Some sort of awareness and effort in, and you're not completely like getting pissed off or shutting down or having like crazy emotional responses. It should all be just fine. Okay, moving on up one more chakra into solar plexus, Four of Swords reversed. Okay, and for some of you, what I just mentioned, if you feel like you are like shutting down, listen to your body. If you feel like, oh my goodness, this is too much pizza and burgers, or this is too much of one thing that maybe not good for you. Maybe you just have that particular friend that is like every day at like 4:20 they come along and they're like, oh, let's go for a drive, and you're just like, oh man, that stuff just makes me so sleepy. I just can't. Maybe you have to tell this person like, oh, I don't know if I really want to go today. I just I got other things on the go, right? But at the same time, if this is your close friend and this is your decision, right, sort of thing. Maybe you want to go out and enjoy some time, go for a drive with a friend, rather than kind of being a little bit too much solitude in your life at this time. Four of Swords reversed can be like the proverbial kick in the butt to sort of get up, get out the door, go do something that brings you some enjoyment. And you can combine this, right? If you're wanting to tantalize and treat your senses, don't get the to-go container and bring it back in front of Netflix. Maybe swallow your sit by yourself at the bar, or sit in a restaurant or in a patio or something where you can actively like people watch and have that opportunity to be somewhat engaged with somebody. I really feel that this reading here is for some single Scorpios moving through this solar plexus and this sacral chakra. For those of you that are in relationships, you may be feeling somewhat distant from your partner at present time. You may be feeling like an inability to connect. It's not that there's not a desire to connect, but there is sort of an inability to connect, and it may be due to physical distance. This person may be like a soldier, or this person may be just like someone who travels a lot for work, and you can't see them as often as you would like. And maybe it's been so long now that your heart is like saying, well, what's going on here? Why don't we have the physical contact, right? And it might be leading to some chemical confusion for you, right, inside your body and inside how everything works. So that's why I'm saying treat yourself, right? Don't worry too much. Let's down with the worry, up with the treats. Okay, hope that makes sense to you, Scorpio, for what we're seeing, because now we got another lower pip, and it's again I'm here with the swords. Okay, so somebody is going to be willing to make a decision on a matter of a heart here. Some Scorpios, when it comes back to this, maybe we're saying, okay, some of you are going to actually get off of this energy, and some of you might be deciding, well, it's been so long, I am going to reply to that message on eHarmony, and I am going to go and out on a limb here and maybe date someone that it's like a kind of a blind date type situation, or kind of a you make the decision to go out with friends, and you're like, well, you know what, if somebody approaches me on the dance floor, well, tonight I'm actually going to say yes. Tonight I'm actually going to let my hair down and really let loose and really let go, and that will be just fine. As well, the Two of Swords, and this comes up, I gotta say it because it's here. If you have been apart from someone, like if you are in a long distance relationship, there may be certain Scorpios that are going to be calling it. And when I say calling it, I always mean calling it quits. It's just a saying I have with my friends, and I'm sorry. Like when we call it, it's like, let's go. It's over. It's done. Let's go. Right. So you may be calling it. You may be deciding, like, you know what? Well, Johnny or Jenny down the street has been really flirting with me a lot lately, and I'm pretty attracted to them. And I know, like, two years ago, I told Billy or Jessica that I would love them forever. But now they're in Kandahar, or they're in Beijing, or they are never in the same city as I am at the same time. So I'm going to maybe just send out a message to let them know that, maybe mutually exclusive just isn't working at present time, and we need to really sort of get out and explore. And because if we're feeling too much solitude, yet our heart's wrapped up too much in one particular person, this can really be a downer, like a bummer, a bit of a drag. So some of you may be coming to a decision about that. And I'm just going to ask for some more quick clarifiers just from the mundane level of what this could be about for a lot of Scorpios. These cards, they're just like, things are feeling right this morning. Like the sun kind of went behind a cloud, and okay, Ace of Pentacles, right? Okay, Ace of Pentacles and Seven of Wands. Okay, so this speaks for my couples here. Some of you might have a situation where one of the members of the couple might have taken a new job, but it involves relocation. It regards moving, and then one of the partners is like realizing, like, well, I don't want to give up everything that I've worked hard for. I don't want to just throw it all away and like give it up to the wolves that are at the door, right? So that they can just jump in and take it. I need more time. I need more reassurance that everything's going to be okay. Is if the relationship is new and somebody's maybe beckoning someone to come with them across the country to chase a new opportunity or a new job, that could be one of the decisions that is at the door for Scorpios that are coupled up as well. Scorpios that are single or that are in that long distance thing that I've talked about, perhaps maybe some of you are thinking about, maybe uprooting a little bit to be able to travel as well with your partner as well, like a little bit more. And at the same time, the feeling here is that it would be like a real risk, a real gamble. There's a certain amount of unwillingness to do this at this time. So a tough a tough decision, right? For some of you, and some of it involves like having to sort of really pick up and start anew. Ace of Pentacles is like, it's really like hits you on the, this is where you actually are like purging, moving, cleaning up, packing things away, putting things in storage, to go out and really, like, I see people in like rental cars and staying in hotels, that sort of thing, just to like, catch up to an opportunity that's beckoning them, but it's like a very upwardly mobile opportunity, something where like salespeople, I think, travel quite a bit, and people that are representatives of like product reps in the industry, technical service people now, because products can be so like, exclusive to some, they travel a lot, right? Okay, and look, here's this polar bear, right? Very adaptable. Polar bear will come up on the ice, polar bear will go deep down into the sea, and polar bear is pretty rare. And there's transparency though in this card, which I like. There's power here, there's beauty, and there's transparency. So when you guys are making this decision, try to see through to the other side. Try and be in your power, be in your body. Take a look at the beauty that's around you and the beauty that you can sort of sense or perceive in uprooting and moving, and then try and see through it. Is it going to be as beautiful once you get there as you're imagining? Or is what's around you, are you giving it too much credit for how beautiful it really actually is? And where do you want to go? Polar bear, unless it's hungry. I live way up north. Like literally, you could take Canada, go north of there. Once the thermostat reads cold as balls, drive another 100 miles north, and then that's where I'm at, right? Like, so I'm really in touch with like northern type stuff, Norse mythology and things like that. Just a little background of me for a reader. I don't know why I chose to go there. This card maybe brought it out of me a little bit. Rarely see it. But the polar bear, unless it's like really hungry, like it's not going anywhere too quick. Okay, so it's just like it's not. It's just like, I'm good. I'm good for a while. Like you, maybe tell this person that's asking you to make this decision, be like, I'm not making this call right away. I'm not making this decision right away. It doesn't mean I won't make the decision. Just be like, I'm not making this decision right now. Okay, I'm a polar bear. Polar bear don't give a shit. Okay, King of Pentacles. Sorry, not King. We got Knight of Pentacles reversed up in the communication. So some of you may have kids to consider in this choice that's coming from the heart chakra. Some of you may need to talk and get your children's opinions when you're making some more major life choices. Not that you always need to like do what your kids want to do, but sometimes hearing from children can give you that spark of what you really need. Like, because I get children with Knight of Pentacles because most readers see into it as like Knight of Pentacles isn't going anywhere, like it's slow moving energy. Well, what the heck needs to be stationed and rooted more in life than children? This is where you're not going anywhere too quickly. This is where you have a sense of community. You live close to the school. You don't go too far because of routines and schedules and security and stability for your children. This is why, like in bigger energies, things don't move so quickly, so fast, because the importance and the relevance to our children and their spirit and their souls is very important. Okay, and some of you, the feeling is that you could be like very much in balance with this. Okay, but the Knight of Pentacles, like moving through the earthly plane, is good. So some of you might be feeling a sense of lack at present time and being able to want to like kind of uproot and do that. The fear might be surrounding lack. You may need to be talking to planners and other people about maybe even things like pensions and retirement and things like that. You may be dealing with accountants and even lawyers for some of you coming up this month. But Knight of Pentacles as well can mean talk to your children. Find out, like, this is kind of like, you remember when you were a kid and your mom or dad came up to you and was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, I don't know, an astronaut, right? And you're like, oh my goodness, like, that seems pretty far-fetched. And now a lot of you are like probably even working in the aerospace industry or like in the medical field where it's just like technology has come so far, so fast, and you feel like you're on another planet almost, right? So like kids can say like the darndest things, right? That can like sometimes give you a clue or an inspiration to what it is you should actually do, what it is you should actually be taking into consideration. And it might be something new that you haven't considered already so far, right? With Knight of Pentacles. And as well, if for some of you, if you have older children, you should maybe check in, talk with them, find out that they're doing okay. Some of you might have like children's in universities and colleges that right now they might have too much pride, and they might be like maybe suffering, but they don't want to ask you for any more money because they have a sense of pride that doesn't allow that. So yeah, Knight of Pentacles up in communications, and it's reversed. So maybe it is some situation leading back to your mundane, your everyday. Maybe somebody is being very closed off, very quiet, and this could be you, and rightly so. Like I said, you want to be a bit cautious, a bit reserved here. And again, this could come back to your communication of just being like, certain people might kind of even be like kind of questioning you, like, well, how much do you make a year? What kind of benefits do you get with your position and stuff like that? And you're just gonna like, don't reveal too much information about that kind of stuff. Okay, keep those cards close to your chest. All right, Seven of Wands. Interesting to see this up in spirit because look, we had it in a clarifier down here for the heart. Right? And sometimes this happens. It's kind of groovy when this happens, all right? Seven of Wands, just bring you back, down a little bit. This is in our pineal gland now. This is in our soul searching. This is in our spirit questing, and, our spiritual seeking type things. This is where we receive message from spirit. This is where we have visions, and this is where definitely we exist outside of ourselves, so to speak, when the ego is asleep, when the ego is on shutdown mode or in restart mode, we have a chance to be spiritual. We have a chance to really exist in the form and the being and the way we were meant to be before the delusion of ego came about. So that's what pineal gland is all about. That's what Seven of Wands is here. This is again. Look at we've got the 5, the 9, and the 7 of Wands. So for this balance, I feel like Seven of Wands is a bit of a powerhouse for you guys. Don't feel guilt. Sorry, I get so like, I'm going to tell you. But what I mean to say is like, if you guys can, with that reserved, cautious approach you're having to the mundane, day-to-day people being in your face a little bit, I wouldn't feel too guilty or too much remorse if you are finding yourself acting a little bit defensive. If you are, people are like, well, what's up with you? You're not so chatty. And you're just like, well, I know what you're up to. I'm being this way across the board. It's like, I hate everybody equally right now, so just don't even worry about it. You didn't do anything wrong, right? Hate's a strong word. I probably shouldn't have used it, but you know what? Like I said earlier with this balance, you can't have love without some sort of jovial form of like fear or distemper, right? Sort of thing. So what I'm saying is with this Seven of Wands, if you think things around you are like quite dark right now, that there's really kind of not feeling there's much of a light at the end of the tunnel, and that like any choice you make is kind of like, well, I'm blind to destiny and that sort of thing. Don't shut down, but at the same time, don't feel guilty for being reserved, for continuing on with some type of Four of Swords energy where it's like, yeah, we'll go out for ice cream, or yeah, I'll go out and maybe go for a jog or a run, but you know what? Don't ask me for any more because I'm still at a point where I'm recharging my batteries. And for some of you, 2017 has been a metamorphical year. You guys are really like cocooned up, coming out butterfly mode, right, for this portion in time. This process doesn't happen overnight. And for some of you, yeah, we're going into 7 months of it. And for some of you, it's tough to let go of like the last 7 years where it's like, God, it's like, did time stand still? How was I able to deal with that much bullshit and other people's garbage for that long and still come out feeling like, I'm still going to have a very healthy and nice future to come, right? So that's kind of interesting to see that Seven of Wands there. We're like clarifying the heck out of the reading, and I don't mind doing it because you know what? If we didn't clarify, then your reading would end up as short as some of the other ones. Like I said, I get a bit long-winded, and it's probably going to like blow up my computer trying to upload all these videos by mid-month, but that's all right. That's all right. Whoa. This card is like wild. I've never seen this one pop out in a reading so far. Now, we've got like some ancient Egyptian stuff going on here. And I'm not Egyptologist. I'm not archaeologist. I don't know the significance behind these cards without like Googling it and looking it up to find out what this means. I'm not really in touch with that. And that's okay. That's okay. We can just see that there's like a level of mysticism here. And maybe this defensive thing, what's going on here, may be very subconscious. This may be very super subconscious, like subsurface. Whatever you guys may be dealing with on a spiritual level, to find this balance and temperance, and why things are so defensive is like you guys may find that certain dharma, certain karmas that have been created in terms of past lives, and that which you are creating in this life to affect future lives, is being sort of looked upon now. Like, see this like eye. Eye is pretty important. Like pineal gland, I think it's even in the shape of what the pineal gland actually looks like in the brain. Can you see that? They always refer to that like as that like the spirit gland, right? This is where it all sort of lights up for you, and it gives you that bridgeway to the fifth dimension. And speaking of dimension, I need to mention that if you're in spiritual circles, or if you're receiving spiritual advice for somebody that's asking you to like, go astral traveling or do this, just be very careful, because there is a fine line between two-dimensional astral plane, which is like they call it the lower astral plane, and the 5D holographic, like this is the creme de la creme astral plane. And if you're trying too hard to force this to happen, you could easily end up being tricked and find yourself on a 2D astral plane, but maybe there's a very beautiful person there, or image of something that you really want, and then you just are like trying to go back there all the time, and like, but it could just be a trick, right? Because the spirit does this automatically without even your awareness. It travels to like 5D. It may go into 2D to pull certain information out of like some darker places from time to time, but we don't want to consciously be trying to direct our spirit back down to 2D. We're in 3D for a reason. We're learning here. We're having our experiences here. We're moving through the fourth dimension of time. Some people are mastering time. Well, we don't see any pentacles. Well, we got Page of Pentacles here, and he's not moving, because pentacles for me are always time, right? Because for those of us out there in Scorpio, this is a good message. You guys are going to really take this and run with this. Time is like a possession. It's the fourth dimension, but we can actually possess it. We can actually have it and say, this is ours. We can stand in front of it. Like, we can stop it, we can rewind it, we can move it, we can do what we want to it. We can't consciously do that, but some people are learning to be more conscientious of the fact that they have those powers in spirit to be able to do that. So 3D to the fourth dimension of time, learning that level of mastery, and then coming back up into 5D, where you are truly finding twin flames, your soul's balance, your soul's purpose, connection with source, connection with spirit, is kind of just where the collective of humanity is right now. But if you've got any kind of like teacher or somebody out there that's telling you to like, take this drug and go to 2D, just be very careful of that at that time, and be very defensive. For some of you, this might involve smudging your sanctuary or your place. And because it's kind of funny, like Scorpio is so spiritually powerful and so intuitive. They have the psychic abilities are off the charts. So it's like you guys kind of always have to be aware of spiritual, and I'm going to say attack, right? That sort of thing. Something coming and latching onto you and like succubus energy, like draining your energy type thing. You don't want to have that, right? And it's part of the reason why I don't point the camera at myself. I don't do personal readings at that time. I've been reading for 20 years. I've been through this bullshit. I know how it works. I've shut myself off to it. I refuse to channel. I refuse to like go any direction that is not like to the greater good, to that 5D holographic, like just, and it's not really even holographic. It is the Tao. It's not even anything you can define. You can't even define it as the Tao. Like, it is what it is and will always be. So just be defensive. Keep progressing, okay? You made it to the top of the hill. Something will come in to help you, but don't go back down the hill, okay? Just wait there for it. This Three of Wands has been popping up for everybody's reading. Oh my goodness gracious. Like, you guys, like I said, you were number 7 off the top of the reading. I swear to God, you guys were like number 6 with Three of Wands reversed. And it's showing up for different signs all over the place. I might do a little sub video on Three of Wands just because, like, this is such kind of like, it's such a small pip card, right? It's such like, it's always so overlooked in reading. It's like, oh yeah, Three of Wands, you got a journey, you got a decision to make. There are certain elements of forgiveness, certain elements of like turning your back to somebody, that sort of thing, right? This is what all the readers say on the mundane level when they say the Three of Wands. But I've seen it so much here coming up for mid-May. I feel like I have to speak to like really the return to forgiveness, the return to letting things go, like water off a duck's back. There are so many signs out there. I feel right now that when something sets them off or something triggers it, they're like holding on and they're like begrudging of it. And it's like a simple act of forgiveness or a simple like conversation of understanding can really like shed 95% of this like dogmatic, like just weird, like passive aggressive, I'm not talking to you, they're not talking to me type energy, right? But now let's look at this kind of in a grander scale. I'm going to pull these cards out of their position for a little bit. We've got 3 of Wands. We got 5 of Wands. We've got 7 of Wands. We've got 9 of Wands. All right. Wands are spirit, passion. So, and we've got all the odd numbers, right? Which I believe odd are like the receptive, the female, the feminine side of things, right? So these would be things coming in, all right? So what we got in the 5, and like this is like got the makings of a sweet poker hand. Like you can have a straight here pretty much, which is a pretty high, powerful hand that you've been dealt here. So I think that Source and Universe sees you in a metamorphical time, in a metamorphosis, and it's kind of wanting to see exactly where you're at. So you may be finding that there's certain small tests or energy shifts, or I'm not an astrologer, but when planets do their thing, the energy subtly shifts, and then you kind of like react or respond to it and compensate for it by being a certain way and, promoting your own spiritual health through your physical body. So I think that when I see these cards, this is kind of like the universe or source saying, okay, I want to see where you're at sort of in each stage of your spiritual journey. Do you have this sense of mastery of what to do when people are all up in your face? Yes, you got that, Scorpio, right? Do you know what to do when you have conflicted feelings about, being alone or being a little bit removed from, the hustle and the bustle and the, what the establishment deems to be normal and important? Yeah, you're okay with that, right? It's like it's nice to be social and be around people, but you know what? At the same time, we're aware of when it becomes toxic and draining, so good job, right? Can you stand your ground when it comes to like knowing that your fundamental understandings of where you're at on your spiritual path are being challenged? Yeah, you got this. That's easy for you, Scorpio. That's another one straight up. This is going to be the tricky one, right? How good are we at really finding forgiveness within ourselves? How good are we at forgiving ourselves and not turning our back on people that have triggered us or maybe have set us back when we had at one time had a common accord with them? Because this is crown chakra now. This is coming in from Source. This is what Source really wants to know or really wants to show you, right? This 3 of Wands. Can you forgive? Do you have the ability to forgive? Can you be the one, whether or not, it doesn't mean you have to like the person, but you just say like, maybe I forgive them because they're clueless, they're ignorant, right? And you can move away at that time. We can get this 3 of Wands where you can see the bigger picture now. This person is unable to move forward, but they can see the bigger picture. They're in recognition of the obstacles in front of them. Where here we go, it's like this is somebody that's like been pushed off the cliff now and they're hanging on like in the movies where they go off the cliff and they're hanging on to the little shrub that's growing out the side of it being like, somebody come and help me, right? So maybe what this is saying, when a helping hand comes along in these next 2 weeks in May, maybe that's a helping hand that you want to reach out and grab. Because the feeling is, when I saw this, I became a little bit worried that some of you might be getting a little bit of misdirection. And I'm not sure where that's coming from. But with this temperance, with this balance card here, maybe what Source is saying, let's get in touch with our good friends. Let's not shut our good friends out. Let's get in touch with them. Let's find harmony in like the smaller, in our treating ourselves to our 5 senses. Let's go have a few laughs with some friends, right? Find this energy, find this balance within them. You're balanced within yourself. The spiritual, this 5 3, 5, 7, 9 of wands is going fine for you. So now can we go 2, 4, 6, 8 of swords and kind of master, get that rolling out too in terms of our harmony with other people, so we can like exist with them and have fun with them, but we don't let them so far in that they're affecting our thoughts. And for those of you that followed the plot line of the big decision, don't worry about it. Don't rush the decision. Don't wait. I'm almost feeling like inaction right now is going to kind of be your friend rather than going too far out on the limb, because then the shrub could snap and you'll fall the rest of the way off the cliff. Just hold on for now, Scorpio. And, if that's too rough, call a friend up. Go somewhere that takes you out of your norm, takes you out of your routine, helps you forget about it for a while. Okay, enchanted map, we are looking for one card for Scorpio. Oh, and this came over. Sometimes the card flips out, and sometimes when I'm shuffling, I'm left with that like one perfect one that's just like, and then I know that's the card, right? That one was kind of in between, so I knew to take it. Take it. Okay, you guys have pulled number 52, Magical Shapeshifter. This is crazy. These Oracle cards, like all of them have been above 40. It's so interesting to me, like the way that these like bi-monthly readings go and the messages that come out. I'm just going to read from the book because I like doing that. I do what I want, Scorpio. So do you. 52, Magical Map Shifter. And I quote, Spirit orchestrates everyone's destiny, end quote. When the Magical Map Shifter card arrives, it comes with a mission to make you aware of the people who come into your life to impact your personal growth. Perhaps you may meet a soulmate whose presence invites you to be the best that you can be, or someone who leads you out of difficulty and into a place of safety or success. Pay attention to those people who cross your path and cause you to reflect on your journey. Be awake, be aware, and you'll recognize them for the important changes that they will bring. Your whole perspective is about to shift, and who you are and why you're here will also shift. The Magical Map Shifter always initiates you into a better version of yourself. So yeah, it reaffirmed. There is a person that may be coming to offer you a hand in terms of helping you make a decision or bring you to a place of better safety or security about some information about what you want, right? And there are these challenges of people like they're wanting to cut you down, but what inevitably is going to happen is they're going to cause you to shine, which is really cool to see, like that kind of thing happening going on around you. People are going to have to mind their P's and Q's around you because this is continuing good energy. This is a spiritual journey that is really sort of now like, we're at the base of the mountain and we're looking up at it and we're like, I'm ready for this. We're ready to climb this. We got this, okay? All right, Scorpio, know that I love you all. It was my pleasure to read for you, and we'll see you next time.